Sup Dudes, I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank Lamontier.
And we are the Sup Dudes. Coming at you again from a parking lot. You know what that means? Movie review time.
Yep.
And we just saw Boogie about an Asian basketball player overcoming the odds. And as you can tell, Frank has a headache, so we're going to try to keep this as short as we can.
Yeah, and in case you haven't noticed, Nate hasn't noticed yet, I'm not wearing my glasses because they just broke.
Wait, how'd you break your glasses?
We'll talk about that later.
All right, we'll come out with a behind the scenes. I just noticed it now. It's weird looking at you without your glasses on the camera. All right, so long story short, like I said, it's about an Asian American athlete overcoming the odds, trying to make it to college, make it to NBA, and he has to overcome the different obstacles. That's basically the gist of the movie. Yeah. And there's one person that's like his rival that he has to like try to beat. So of course, typical sports movie type stuff.
Yeah, well, not typical, because even though I'm not into sports, I do like underdog sports movies. Yeah, I know sometimes it can be a little formulaic, but I do like them. They usually have good stories. This one I wasn't too happy with, but go ahead.
I'm gonna start with the goods and go with the bads like we usually do.
Go right ahead.
Goods. It was a short movie. I'll say that. It was an hour and a half, so I kind of like shorter movies. It hits closer to me because basketball. I know it doesn't look like I really played much, but that's beside the point.
Well, we all used to be
thinner, yeah.
Yeah.
And we all used to have good knees, so
yes.
If you don't know, torn ACL I had. But yeah, so the basketball part really hit me. Like, that's kind of like a bias right there. It's kind of like it played to me a little bit more, so I was kind of like more lenient to watch the movie. That's basically all I can say is just the basketball really got to me, and the what is it? It was short.
Yeah. The only thing good that I found in the movie is that it was set in New York, and I'm from New York and kind of miss it, so it was good to see some New York neighborhoods.
You never answered my question in the theater. It was like Flushing, Queens, New York. How far away is that from you, where you were?
I don't know. Not too far.
We'll put like a time like right about here if we take like a car or subway.
Yeah, because I lived in the North Central Bronx. Queens, Flushing, Queens is kind of not too far over the bridge, so it's not too far. Time-wise, I don't know, because I haven't done that trip in a while, but yeah. But Brooklyn was further, which is where a pivotal game takes place. But anyway.
So, I guess we'll go to the bads then, because you just said you're one good that was in New York.
That was it.
Bads. Everything else I can basically say.
Everything else.
Acting wasn't really that good.
Horrible.
I mean, the storytelling was subpar. Mm-hmm. And
boring.
Now, like I said, I played basketball, so I kind of want to rant on some of the stuff that's going on, but I want you to say your bad first.
Well, as far as the games go, I don't know sports. He had a problem with the technical aspects of the games. I don't care about that.
I'll discuss that in a little bit.
But they weren't exciting. They were just very blah anyway. So I don't know whether they were, the plays were right or the calls were incorrect or whatever. I don't care about that. They were boring games. To me, they were boring games. And if the movie's about basketball, it should be exciting, I think, or at least have something that you care about in the game. Than the two main guys playing each other.
I mean, like you have Hoosiers, you have Glory Road.
Yeah, all good movies.
Those are only two I can think off the top of my head right now. If I remember any more. Coach Carter, thank you.
And these are just the basketball ones.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to mostly focus on, like the basketball, like how they were able to make basketball exciting. If I forget any other major ones, I'll probably throw them in somewhere here, like I usually do.
But the acting was subpar. The whole thing was all just a group of conversations between all the players. No, I don't mean the basketball players. All the players in the movie, all the actors. And
I promise I don't have COVID.
Just a series of conversations throughout the whole movie. It just then nine times out of 10, it didn't really make sense. I don't know. A lot of cursing. That's why it's rated R.
Yep, a lot of sexual stuff too.
I have no problem with the cursing. It's just when it's thrown in for no apparent reason. All right, they were
like a Tarantino.
They were young. Well, Tarantino's almost. But
he's a good director.
They were young New Yorkers, so they're gonna curse a lot, fine. But I think it could have could have done without so much.
I think
And again, it's not from a prude thing. It just didn't. It didn't add anything.
I think they could have made it a PG-13 movie and made it a little bit better without all that cursing.
Yeah.
Is there anything else
But
you
I
want to
don't
say?
think anyone would have gone if it was PG-13.
Is there anything else you want to say before I go on my basketball technicality rant?
No, just it's a bad movie.
I apologize to you in advance for all this rant I'm going to go on.
That's okay.
I apologize for any non-sports fans.
At least something's going to be interesting for this movie.
I apologize for any non-sports fans that are watching this. But it's a sports movie. I'm a sports guy. I have to break it down. Now, don't get me wrong. No movie, I would say, is going to be 100% accurate to any sport. I will gladly say that. Even if, like, your 42s, your Rudies, Remember the Titans, everything like that, they're not going to be 100% accurate to real sports. They're going to be close, not 100% accurate. First off, I want to say they're playing high school basketball, and they're wearing numbers that are banned in high school basketball. And just long story short, you can't have anything that's like a 00, a 0, which way we're both wearing. You can't have any numbers that have a 6, 7, 8, or 9 in them for high school basketball and college basketball.
Is this really a thing?
It actually is a thing.
Okay.
It's a high school rule, it's a college rule. Pros, you can start wearing whatever numbers you want to wear that isn't retired. But in high school and college, you can't wear 6, 7, 8, 9, 00, or regular 0.
So be careful.
Be careful, yeah. All high school should know that. They should have no jerseys that have any of those numbers.
All right.
Second, there was a bunch of calls that either were missed or were bad. So I'm not going to get into too much of that because that's going to take way too long to discuss everything like that.
I mean, it happens, but
Yeah.
I guess Mr. Technical here.
I have 2 uncles that ref games, so I know a decent amount. I just said not a lot. There's also a whole thing where it's like the defense that they were playing was so lackadaisical that like it's supposed to try to make the offensive player look good, but you can honestly see the people on defense just being like, "Oh, I'm told I have to stand here and not defend this person. I have to let him go by me."
This is what I'm saying. They were boring games. They weren't exciting at all. It didn't even seem like. It seemed like the whole point of the games was to highlight the 2 main players.
And then you have like these great basketball moves, like great basketball plays and everything. Like they go for a dunk, they do a dribble move, they go for a layup, everything like that. And the camera makes terrible cut choices to hide that. Like that's the best parts of the movie to show what these people can do as athletes.
Yeah, that was another thing. There was a lot of cutting back and forth all over the place.
Too much cutting. There was a lot of stuff that you should take a drink. There's a lot of stuff that, like technical wise, camera wise, that I didn't agree with. Like they had close up of like their eyes.
Yeah,
that was stupid.
I think that was to try and be romantic or something.
Probably.
It was just dumb.
And to end the rant on, I would just say that when you're playing one of the biggest games of your high school basketball career, and you beat the team that you always wanted to beat from the beginning of the movie, and you're not like dogpiling each other, like jumping into each other's arms.
Yeah, that was strange.
All you're doing is just like high five, hugging, and all this.
I said, "Hey,
come on,
all right, let's go home."
Yeah, literally. Hey, great game. We won one. No, it's like a championship worthy type game. You're like cheering. You're like going off with the fans. And you're doing everything.
Well, I'm not gonna say anything.
Oh, you don't want to ruin anything?
I don't want to. Well, it was a street game, and they're wearing their uniforms. Now,
that's another thing.
Okay, it's a street game. Maybe you shouldn't be wearing the uniforms, but I think they probably wanted to show up the rivalry. That could be why they're wearing the uniforms. But in a street game, you don't wear your school uniforms.
I'm surprised you knew that.
What street? I live in New York. I know what street games are.
You know about the cage. But yeah, like it was just mostly to represent that was that school, that all those players from that school went and played that other team. So yeah, that's basically. If I keep going on a basketball rant, we're gonna keep this. This video's gonna keep going on for so much longer. So
he'll never stop.
Yeah, I'm cutting it right there. So at this point, we're gonna go give our reviews. And since you hate this movie so much, I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, I'm gonna give it a 2.
A 2.
A 2, only because of New York, New York. It sounds so nice. They named it twice. So I'm giving it a 2.
All right. So, all right. So you gave it a 2?
Yeah, that's it. Only because it took place in New York.
I have to give this movie a 3.5. Now, I only liked it because of the street ball aspect and the basketball aspect, the school game aspect.
All right, so it had something for you.
Yeah, it had some. Again, it hit me in like memories that I've had, so I have to go with that. And I will. Oh, I do want to say something too. I'm gonna ruin the movie because we're not gonna recommend it. I'm just gonna say that right now. We're gonna skip the recommendations part because we're not recommending it.
Spoiler alert.
We'll flash that right here. They go to play the game in a high school gym in a high school setting for their two schools playing each other. That game doesn't go on. They get disqualified for fighting before the game, and they go to a street ball game. I kind of like that they settled it on a street versus in the gym because it just adds more to the story. But that's about it. That's what brings it up to a 3.5 for me.
Okay, all right, I'll buy that.
So as you know, we're gonna give our average score right here. It's not too high.
No, not at all.
So, like we said, we're not going to recommend to watch it at all. If you want to see a bad movie, we recommend it.
There you go.
If you don't want to see a bad movie,
If you like rap music, you can watch it.
oh, by the way,
soundtrack was all rap, and
we want to mention
Yeah.
we do want to mention Pop Smoke. Now, I know you're not a big rapper.
nope.
But-
I'm not a rapper at all.
You're not
I'm
a-
not a rap fan.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. It's late. We just saw a terrible
That's
movie.
okay,
Come
that's
on.
all right, I'll forgive you.
So he's not big into rap music. I'm a big rap music fan. Pop Smoke starred in the movie, and as we all know, if you are a rap fan, Pop Smoke passed away in February 2020, over a year ago.
Yeah.
So we do want to say rest in peace to Pop Smoke for that. They did a nice little quick tribute to him at the end.
They had a little in memory of. They dedicated the movie to him at the end.
Yeah, and
He was obviously one of the.
he was one of the
actors.
basketball players. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do
And
just
they
want
used
to.
his music too.
Yeah, we just do want to say rest in peace because we want to recognize that we want to recognize something like that. So that's really on a sad note talking about death.
Well, that's all right. It's the nicest part of the movie.
So that's gonna do it for us, guys. So I'm Nate Heater,
And I'm Frank Lamontier.
and we are the Sup Dudes. So long.